In this video, I want to make a distinction between what is working in and what is working out and help you understand when's the time for one and when's the time for the other. So before we go into that, let's see what is actually working in and what is working out. So working in, as you can see, is movement that brings in energy, and it brings in more energy per unit time than we expend. And it stimulates an anabolic response, and it is yin by nature. So working in is a movement, an activity done at the pace of our breathing, where the movement follows the pace of the breathing and it does not supersede it. And we are aiming not to increase our respiratory rate, not to increase our heart rate, and not to get our tongue dry. When the tongue gets dry, that means we are in full-on sympathetic response. Working in is a parasympathetic activity. This could be any movement. You will see examples of movements as we go into the zones, but I will give you a few examples now. It could be a breathing squat, where you, as you squat down, you exhale, and as you squat up, you inhale. So in the upwards part of the motion, you inhale, and the downwards part of the motion, you exhale. It could be a hip, a glute bridge, where as you breathe, you inhale, and as you relax, you exhale. Now, working out is spending energy. So it spends more energy in the body per unit time than it draws in, and it stimulates a catabolic response, meaning that it breaks down tissue. And for that reason, it is yang. And this is the typical working out regimes that are stimulated, that are designed to break down our tissue in order to rebuild it back stronger. So what dictates when we want to work in versus when we're going to work out? And that is the state of our stress levels. So when an organism, when a body is overly stressed, if we add more stress to it in the form of working out, it's probably going to break down. And that's going to show up in the form of digestive impairment, going to be shown in the form of injury, or it's going to be in the state of constant anxiety and grogginess. In these cases, we want to stimulate an anabolic response first. We want to rebuild the tissues, decrease the overall stress level in the body before we actually break down some tissue in order to build it up. On the other hand, when an organism is full on healthy and is ready for hard exercise, then if we just work in, then it's gonna make it too yin. It's gonna feel boring. It's actually gonna have a diminishing return on investment. And that's when we want to work out. That's when we want to actually go on and break down tissue in order to rebuild it, because the body has the potential, it has the capacity to devote those resources into rebuilding that tissue. And as you see on the graph by Matt Walden over there, as we age, the rate of tissue healing decreases and the cumulative microtrauma increases. Our goal is to slow down the accumulation of microtrauma as much as possible by not excessively working out and smartly utilizing working in versus working out, and at the same time accelerate the rate of tissue healing as much as possible through alternating between anabolic, working in, and catabolic activities. If we work out all the time, we're catabolic all the time, we're going to break down much faster. And as you see, this red line is going to be much steeper. If we interplay between working in and working out, then we prolong the breakdown point for as long as possible.